Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Going Up Blue Dude. Hey, if you haven't already, you already know what to do. But in case you don't, please hit the like and subscribe button. We are on our way to 5,000 subscribers, but we can't do it without you. Yeah, you might be a little surprised right now. I'm a West Virginia fan, and I'm actually in a good mood. And the reason for that is pretty much what I said was going to happen last night in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl happened. Minnesota was the better team, and they just manhandled West Virginia. 18-6 was the final score. I did try to tell everybody that this matchup reminded me of the matchup against Oklahoma State. I didn't like it. It was a bad matchup. I expected it to be a low-scoring game and for Minnesota to really manhandle West Virginia, and that's exactly what happened. So our defense played well. I mean, we held Minnesota to 18 points. That's pretty good. It's just our offense. It was stagnant. Jarrett Doege was 18 for 31, 140 yards, an interception, no touchdowns. Tony Mathis, 13 carries, 56 yards. We had 206 offensive yards. Minnesota had 358 offensive yards. One turnover. They had 2 turnovers. We had 15 first downs. They only had 17 first downs. So it's not like they had a great offense. It's just their defense shut us down. The big disappointment for me in this game is we didn't try to buck our trends. We did everything that we've done throughout the year, and Minnesota had us well scouted. We didn't try to switch anything up, and the result is an amazing top 10 defense shut down a bad offense. Pretty much too predictable. West Virginia was a team of streaks this year. I mean, we started off the season, lost at Maryland, then we won against Long Island, Virginia Tech, then we lost at Oklahoma, Texas Tech, at Baylor, then we won at TCU, Iowa State, then we lost Oklahoma State at Kansas State, then we won Texas at Kansas, and we finished the season with a loss. So we were a very streaky team, up and down, no consistency, and we abandoned the run in this game. And I get it, Letty Brown sat out, he opted out, trying to get to the NFL. But we needed to get more creative. We needed to get more creative because Letty Brown was our best running back. And we didn't do it. In fact, we completely abandoned the run altogether. Minnesota didn't expect our running attack at all because we stopped doing it. And when you put a game on Jarrett Doege's shoulder, you're going to lose. He is not good enough to put the team on his back and win a game. Now, he is good enough if everybody else does their job, if we have a good running attack, our defense steps, he is good enough for us to not lose a game. But he's not good enough to put the team on his shoulders, and that's exactly what Neil Brown did last night. The play calling, I didn't like it. We didn't try to use short passes as an extension of the run game, like some screens, some toss sweeps, some misdirection plays, nothing like that. And you look at Minnesota, they actually tried some trick plays. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But hey, it's the last game of the year. You got to let it all hang out. You gotta get rid of everything that's holding you back and don't hold anything back. And we did not do that. We stuck to the trends that we were doing throughout the season. Minnesota scouted those trends, had them locked down, and they just shut us down. Our offensive line was not good at all. Jarrett Doege, there was a few times where he had time to throw and he made bad decisions, but altogether, too much pressure on him, and our running attack was non-existent, so Minnesota pretty much had their way. Our defense played their butts off. I actually feel bad for our defense. They played good enough for West Virginia to win this game. They kept giving our offense opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and we just couldn't get the job done. We couldn't move the ball. We couldn't chew up clock. We couldn't move the chains. It was bad. Our offense was terrible. Now, and that's why I'm not mad about this, because I kind of predicted that was going to happen because Minnesota's defense is elite. And field position was an issue. Minnesota ruled field position in this game, and that was a big time difference in this game. They had short fields time after time after time, and we had these long fields. We had to go 80 yards, 90 yards, and we're just not good enough against an elite defense like Minnesota to do that. And people like to point out, oh, Minnesota, they lost to Bowling Green, they lost to Illinois, and yeah, they did. But they also beat Wisconsin and Purdue. This is a good team. They were 8-4. Their strength of schedule was actually tougher than West Virginia's. They had a 26 strength of schedule, and we had like a 47 strength of schedule. So they played a tougher schedule than us, and they beat some pretty good teams. So yes, it did hurt West Virginia that Letty Brown was not able to play this game because he was going to try his hand at the NFL. I get that, and I'm not mad at the dude. I understand our offensive line is terrible, so his particular risk for injury was probably higher than most. But whenever that happens, you have to change schemes. You have to game plan different. You have to create different opportunities to run the ball. Like I said earlier, screen passes, toss sweeps, misdirections, anything like that to have an extension of the run game. That way you can take deep shots because Minnesota's secondary isn't all that great. Their strength is the front seven. And I will say this, Minnesota's offense, they ran the ball all over West Virginia. Both of their running backs went over 100 yards. I think one of them went over 200 yards, Kai Thomas. And then the other guy, Irving, he had a great game as well. So they were able to run the ball on us, chew up clock, move the chains. They didn't score a ton of points, but they wore our defense out and shortened the game. And that's exactly what we didn't want to happen, and it happened. And the result is, well, it speaks for itself, 18-6. So coming into the 2022 season, this is a big year for Neil Brown. His seat is going to be a little warm, and if he does not do well next year, he very well might get fired. We have a lot of talent coming in. We have seen some flashes of brilliance, but we're not a consistent football team. So that's the one thing we need, consistency. And please, go out and get us a decent offensive coordinator. That is a big, big must right now. West Virginia needs a good offensive coordinator. That is what's hurting us the most this year. And I'm not trying to remove all the load from Jarrett Day because he didn't have a good game at all. Not at all. We saw that during the season. He had some great games if he wasn't pressured. But that's the thing. Our offensive line is so bad that he was going to get pressured. So he couldn't get the job done. And Garrett Green, I think, gets one series, and he does fumble. But you have to give him more opportunities, especially since this is the last game of the year. I mean, what's holding you back from trying out more options? Nothing. You have nothing to lose. And in fact, by not doing that, we still end up getting beat 18-6. So, you know, you can't hold back in this last game, and it looks like that's exactly what West Virginia did. So we have to learn, Neil Brown has to learn to buck his trends sometimes, because if we're not good at those trends and the other team is pretty good at scouting those out and they have a good defense, they're going to shut us down, and that's exactly what happened. Minnesota shut down West Virginia, and we really didn't have a chance in this football game. My score prediction for this game was 27-17, so it really wasn't that far off. I had us losing by 10. We actually ended up losing by 12, but our offense was actually worse than I thought it would be. I knew our defense would step up. Holding Minnesota under 20 points, that is amazing. You guys did great. So I have no issues with the defense, but our offense, man, we couldn't even break into double digits. That is pathetic. So some big things need to change in the offseason. I'm serious. We need to figure out this quarterback situation. If Nico Marco wins the quarterback, let him start. Let him. I don't care about the red shirt rules. If he's doing better than Jarrett Day in practices, let him start. Go get a new offensive coordinator. We need an offensive coordinator. And get the offensive line fixed. That was a big-time issue this year. And if we don't get that fixed by next year, it's going to be another long season. So West Virginia finished the season with a loss in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl to Minnesota, 18-6. So we finished the season 6-7 with a losing record. That is a big letdown year for me. I had us going 8-9 wins, and I know that was too high of goals. But to have a losing season, that's inexcusable. We can't be doing that. It looks like West Virginia is taking steps backwards. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.